Okay. Battle of Saurnesia. The waiting period. So we ended up signing, didn't have a lot of people respond, which is always very disappointing. Just, sorry for the mini rant here, but this takes time and effort to do these videos, to do the Alliance mails. I often even will translate things to other languages to send to people, and yes, it's my choice, but still only 7 people responded, and that's just out of more than 60 active players. I don't know if I just have rotten luck when it comes to that sort of thing, if things are better in the other alliances or not. But that seems to be pretty standard in my experience. Just a little over 10 to 15% of people responding, and it's ridiculous, man. Come on. It doesn't hurt you to take a moment to do something. Anyway, the 6th time slot got 1 more vote than the others, got a total of 5 votes, and the next highest was 4. So I signed us up for that time slot. Now, if you click on that time slot or on any of the time slots, you can see the alliances that are scheduled for that time. And you can see that my alliance is going to go up against Alliance 177. Alliance REV in Kingdom 177. So, if I click on my alliance, I can see that I've got a little over 1 billion might. Ooh, I hadn't realized we'd gotten there. Go us. And my highest castle, or my highest might player happens to be myself with almost 54 million. And then we got a couple of 30s. Okay. So we go back and we look at them, and they have a little more than half the might we have. French Alliance. If we click on their rankings, we can see that we're kind of comparable when it comes to the higher might castles. So, despite the might imbalance you see here, you can see they only have 48 members. So that's really the big reason why they don't have as much might. We're not doing excellent, but we do have 84 at the moment. So it should be fairly even depending on who shows up. That's always the tricky part is people are showing up, which is why I asked people what time worked for them and why it's so disappointing that so few bothered to answer. So, anyway, REV in Kingdom 177. Now, something else I like to do when I see who we're up against is I like to go to that kingdom there in 177. Now, it might be a little tough. As kingdoms get older, you'll almost always find the alliances around the black spot, the black lands. In newer kingdoms, sometimes they're farther away. Now, is that who I wanted? 777? Did I luck out? Let me double check. Yeah, I want REV in 177. That's where my brain got confused. Okay, so we're looking for REV. Take a quick tour around the Blacklands and get lucky. If I don't find them quickly, I'll pause the video while I search for them. See, we see Hot, ALN, EXE, STB. Alright, so it doesn't look like I'm going to get lucky. They're apparently somewhere away from the Blacklands. So I'm going to pause the video while I try and find them for this next bit. Okay, it took a lot longer than I'm going to talk about to find them. They were quite a bit of a ways from Dragonia. It's downside to the smaller kingdoms. But I did finally find them. And looking at the castles, looks like now Inosuke, who I'm probably pronouncing wrong, was the highest might person on the list. And as you can see, they have a C24, which is what I've got at the moment. I've started my C25, but I'm not going to get it in time. So you can see lots of people. You know, nobody, unsurprisingly, nobody has anything higher than that. A lot of 16s, some 20s. So, you know, depending on who shows up, we should be fairly even. Fingers crossed on that. So if I remember correctly, Cell is the leader, and this is where we get to something that players have come up with. I'm not sure how the developers feel about it. Let me double check. Alliance info. All right. So if you go to Alliance member, you can then send messages to them. So I'm going to, I keep a bunch of various messages on my clipboard on my phone. So let's see. Here's my standard message. I'm the leader of the alliance you're matched against. Standard proposal is 1 tower. I spell out the towers because, as you'll see when we get to the actual event and I show you the map, you know, there's a number of different locations. And when we do Alliance Clash, which is essentially the same event, except it's got more locations, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, well, just say the lair and the 2 closest towers. Well, when you're doing Alliance Clash in particular, that's not easily defined. 2 closest towers to what? To the lair? There's some that are equally close. You know, 2 closest towers to the and others think, oh no, 2 closest towers to where your alliance shows up, and it's just a big mess. So I like to spell it out. So, you know, 2 towers in a lair. Castles on Greenlands can be attacked. And I even put my reasoning in for that, because not all alliances agree to terms. So I don't want my people to get used to being on the Greenlands if they're not ready for it. And then I send it to the leader, the warlord, and the diplomat. So that's the leader. And then the warlord is Keely Khan. So I'll find that again on my clipboard. And the diplomat is Nalina 1. Now I send it to everybody. It's less of a problem here. This is a fairly new kingdom. I'm sure everyone is still fairly active. But in older kingdoms, just because somebody's an officer, that doesn't mean they're there. Just because someone's the leader, that doesn't mean they're there. I had some health issues last year, and I missed a couple of months where I was only logging in once a week long enough to not get deposed. And so anybody contacting me during that time was SOL. They needed to contact my diplomat in that instance. They were the ones that were online. Anyway, so that is my prep work for Battle of Saurnesia. And I will do another video when we're actually fighting. And I completely forgot to talk about an aspect of the waiting period. Is that similar to Apex Match? You can vote for people. You can bet, essentially. So, for example, looking at our time slot, I know NTB in Kingdom 85. That's where my other alliance is. I would endorse the other team. So you would click on the little thumbs up. decide how many diamonds you want to endorse with, how many, it's basically a bet. And so, I don't know how the prize pool works per se. You can see you can only endorse one alliance per time frame. Okay, you can do less than 500, I guess. And if the alliance I choose wins, then we'll share in the prize pool according to how much we put in, and not higher than 5 times. So if I put in 500 diamonds, the most I could get back would be 2,500, which it's a nice sum. But I don't bet. So anyway, that's how you endorse. And that's I think that's the main reason why the developers have this bit in this waiting period. They don't care about the fact that alliances like to contact the other alliance and set up deals or time for that or anything. They want to give you time to use diamonds to bet in the hopes that you will spend too much and have to buy more in the mall and spend cash. So, but it's there if you want to give it a shot.